Welcome backstage. We are in the Schuster Center. We're behind the scenes. We're actually in rehearsals for La Bohéme, which opens in 2.5 weeks. This is the command center. This is where the production team is working busily, getting things prepared. Out here in the Mateel Theater is where we're in rehearsals. Come on in. So what we're doing here in the Mateel Theater is we have the whole stage block. And what's going to happen is in 2 weeks, we're going to move onto the stage of the Mead Theater, which is the big 2,100 seat theater. But until then, this is where we're working from. All these lines are parts of the stage, risers, sets, what have you. La Bohéme is kind of like a Melrose Place meets Friends, but kind of in the 1800s in Paris. So it's about 6 characters who are friends, comrades, and we're going to meet some of the players, some of the singers who are portraying these characters.
I'm from Columbus, Ohio, short drive, and I came and auditioned for Dayton a couple of years ago and got cast in Porgy and Bess, and then got invited back to do La Bohéme. This is my first one, so I'm really excited.
Okay, so you're an Ohio guy.
Yes.
So are you familiar with Dayton? Have you've been here before?
I have.
What do you think?
I love Oakwood. I love the Oregon District. You all have a Grater's ice cream, so I'm pretty set.
So tell me about your character.
Okay, my character he's the guy, his name is Schuster, and he's a musician, and he likes to pretty much comment on everything that's happening in the show. So you'll notice that he's always got a little statement about how people are feeling. He's sort of like Toofer from 30 Rock and meets Sheldon from Big Bang Theory.
What stereotypes do you hear about opera singers, and why is it not correct?
Well, the first stereotype is always that we're fat and have horns, and as you can see, it's not that way at all. Let me stand up straight. In today's field of opera, you have to look great, you have to sound great, you have to be a great actor, because the art form is evolving for a new audience. So to keep up with that as a singer, you have to get to the practice room, you have to get to the gym, you have to get to the acting coach, the music coach. There's a lot of work involved with being the next great opera star.
I'm from Syracuse, New York, originally. Born and raised there, and first time in Dayton. Happy to be here.
Okay. So can I ask you, what do you think about Dayton, or is it too early yet?
It's a great town. It's very similar to the city I grew up in. Lovely downtown area, suburbs, and just very nice feeling of good atmosphere all around.
Excellent. Tell me about your character.
I play Rodolfo. He's the poet of the Bohemians. He is kind of moody. He's a good poet, but has no success with it whatsoever. As he's not too bright, I don't think, as he burns his own work in the first part of the opera. But I think he's a cross between, Walt Whitman and Chris Farley.
So, you have an iPod?
I do not. I have an I have an iPod Touch. Yes, I don't have an iPhone. That's okay. What I don't have.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, like, what kind of music do you have on there? Is it strictly classical, strictly like?
No, I have a large variety. I have probably about, I would say, 100 different operas there from start to beginning. Just because we have to listen to it all the time and keep yourself, aware of everything that's going on. But I would say about 40, 50 hours worth of rock and roll from all ages, from the late 50s all the way through to current modern rock and roll.
Who's your favorite rock artist?
My favorite pop rock singer of all time has got to be Freddie Mercury.
Hey, are we on? Excellent. Hi, my name is Kyle Fortmiller. Grew up outside of Chicago, little town Elgin, Illinois, famous for the watch. Now I hail from New York. I've been there, I don't know, 15 plus years. and this is my first time in Dayton.
Great. So you've been in Dayton since the weekend?
That's right.
So have you seen anything yet?
I've seen Downtown and 35. Because I've been on 35 a lot. But I love it here.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time. Good food.
It is good food. Great arts town.
Yeah.
So tell me about your character. Who are you playing?
I'm playing Marcello. He's the painter, and I think it falls on some hard times, as all painters do. He hasn't cut off his ear yet, thankfully. But if I had to say something about, I had to connect him with a TV character, I'm really thinking of like 2 right now, which is a little weird because I'm the old school, something new school. It's like I think the character's name on Moonlighting was like David Addison. It's the Bruce Willis character on that show, combined with like Bill from True Blood, because like the two, he and Musetta are just like this all the time. So when you look at them, you're like, holy cow. So that's really, you had to think of, if you could mesh the 2 of those without the blood sucking, that's kind of him. I don't know.
Give me your favorite tune right now on your iPod.
Golly day. My favorite tune, all right now, Gravity, Sarah Bareilles.
So let's talk about stereotypes.
Yes.
Tell me about what's your favorite opera stereotype?
My favorite opera stereotype is the question is, do you have to be careful what you eat? Do you eat it only at special times? And luckily, I'm not so. I mean, I'm not wearing a scarf. I don't feel like you have to say no to wine and milk and cheese and things like that. But so I think that's a big myth that people think you have to be so careful. We do have to be careful with our bodies, but I mean, because it's our instruments in here. But seriously, moderation in all things.
I live in New York City. I was born in Moscow, but I was raised in New York.
Now, is that Moscow, Ohio?
Is there a Moscow, Ohio?
There is a Moscow. You're right near the nuclear power plant. Yes.
Oh, no, Moscow, Russia.
So, how'd you get over here?
Airplane. My family came when I was a small child.
Okay, wonderful. So, have you always been interested in opera?
Not always. In fact, I got my degree in psychology, which has been helpful, believe it or not, in opera. But I went to graduate school in music.
Ah, terrific. So where'd you go to school?
I went to Smith College for my undergraduate, and I went to Mannes College for my music degree.
Wonderful. So tell us about your character.
Well, Mimi is an impoverished seamstress with the soul of a poet. And she falls head over heels in love with Rodolfo, who's equally impoverished, yet very exuberant. Let's see, I guess she's kind of like Cinderella, but with no gown, no prince, and a deadly case of tuberculosis.
Do you have a favorite stereotype story?
I don't know
or
if I have
question?
I don't know if I have a story. I guess sometimes I think people think it's a very glamorous lifestyle to be an opera singer, and I found that it's like maybe 1 or 2% glamour, and the rest emailing, texting, and schlepping.
And being interviewed by the city
and
paper.
Being interviewed, yes.
So what kind of music do you like?
I like all sorts of music. Lately, I find myself listening to a lot of kids' music. I have a 3-year-old daughter, so Itsy Bitsy Spider, I have a little teacup, Fly Me to the Moon, she loves that one. She's very advanced.
So what was your last gig?
My last gig actually was a La Bohéme with Jean Yarvonia.
My name is Christopher Temporelli. I am into Dayton here from Brooklyn, New York.
New York?
From New York City, yeah.
Brooklyn. So is this your first time in Dayton?
I actually drove down here once before. I'm originally from Michigan, and so I was in Dayton one other time, I think.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Super.
I've been enjoying the city. We've only been here briefly, but it's been good so far. They were talking about who would he be like in maybe modern kind of pop stuff. And the only thing I could really think about was in the it was called Northern Exposure, right? That old TV series.
Yeah.
And there was the philosopher guy on the radio. What was his name? I think it was Christopher too, wasn't it?
Oh, but I know who you're talking.
Yeah, there's a radio guy.
Rob
And I think-
Morrow? No, he was the doctor.
I think that Collini maybe would be closest to that, though Collini's also really engaged in the action, and he's a part of things, running around and doing everything. But he comes out with quotes from antiquity and and just philosophical. At the end, he sees very clearly into human nature, and he has this beautiful analogy he makes with his coat. And it's his kind of giving something for the dying Mimi. I think sometimes people don't understand or don't realize how valid opera is for right now and how insightful these composers and librettists were. You know, these stories are just as cutting edge, as human, whatever, as they were when they were written. So I think when I tell people about what the story is going on in Bohéme, they're really excited and they want to come and see it. And I think that's one thing that opera needs to be clear, that it's as real as can be. It's just you have to get used to the feeling of it being sung, you know? And if you can get over that, it's even more real than real. It's my iPod is my how to practice for upcoming gigs. So I have lots of that. You know, after rehearsals and everything, sometimes you just like to just sit, you know, here, you know, quiet for a little while.
Yeah.
I like all sorts of different music, you know. One thing that I'm gonna admit it, if I really, really want to get stuff done, I go and I listen to old Ace of Base, because there's just nothing better. I mean, that stuff was great.
Kirsten's returning from our 50th season, where she was best in our Porgy and Bess, which was our season opener. Kirsten, tell us where you're from.
I'm from Alexandria, Virginia, and I now live in Ypsilanti, Michigan.
And so you're back in Dayton, and you've been here before, so what's your opinion of Dayton?
I love to come to Dayton and eat. One of my favorite things to do. You have some great restaurants here, and just really you have such a wonderful family in the Dayton Opera Company, with the company and supporters.
So what kind of food do you like to eat?
I like lamb chops.
What? You don't eat like little watercress sandwiches and...
Gosh, one of my pet peeve stereotypes, I think, is what opera singers like to listen to as far as music, especially getting ready for a show. For instance, for me, I like to jump around my dressing room like a mad woman, listening to hip-hop music, and then I like to cool it out to some gospel before I hit the stage.
So, like, what's on your iPod? What are you going to jump around to in a couple of weeks?
Well, I might jump around to some Jay-Z, but actually, right now, I'm listening to Carmina Burana. I just love that piece, and I just play it over and over and over. Especially the baritone solos, they're just wonderful.
Tell me, I mean, you're here with Miles in tow, and
Yes.
Miles is Kirsten's son, who's how old?
3 months.
So how is it traveling on the road with a child?
So far, so good. It's our first gig from childbirth, and he just loves music. He sits in rehearsal and sometimes falls asleep, but a lot of times he's paying great attention, and so far, so good. I've got a great friend, Joelle Lamar, and she is helping me take care of him, and we're having a blast.
And hubby comes to visit you once in a while?
Yes, he's coming next weekend, and he'll be here for the show as well. If you all remember, back in the day, there was a show called 227, and a character named Jacquet. I kind of think Musetta is much like her. It's just a woman who knows what she wants as far as relationships, and, you know, does whatever she wants with whoever she wants, and ditches them when she's done. Perhaps. But she's very loyal to her friends.
So there you have it. You had an opportunity to meet some of the cast. Now you can meet them in person. Why don't you come to the performance on October 21st and join us at the cast party at the Dayton Racquet Club immediately following the opera. We'll see you there.